woman inherits after she's fully married. Everybody agrees that what? The husband gets the properties, but he gets the proceeds of the properties. Okay. What happens if she dies or she's divorced? She takes it back. Okay? Ayin Chesed Beis, the very bottom, 2 dots. See the 2 dots? Ayin Chesed Beis. Okay. He itzo the boy to tavrachinil nichse migavro. Hear this? This woman, she had assets, and she wanted to somehow to conceal the assets from her husband. She didn't want her husband to take, to get because he gets the what? The profits of the properties, whether it's the produce or the rent or whatever it is. So she wanted to conceal it. So what did she do? Kasvin librato. So she wrote over all her assets to her daughter. Okay? In Sivo, she got married. So she gave a document. The daughter has a document that the assets were transferred to her. In Sivo, she gets married. Igarshet, subsequently she got divorced. Asoil kam Rav Nachman. Hear this? She came to Rav Nachman. She tells him the story that I only gave the document to my daughter only to conceal the assets, and my husband should be able to take it. Kari Rav Nachman l'shtora. So Rav Nachman, when he heard that, and it was confirmed that was the reality, why she did it, he tore up the shtar. Rav Nachman tore up the shtar that the daughter had, so the mother should be able to get back her properties. Ozer Ravana l'kami de Marukva. So Rashi would say Rav Rukva was the Av Bezdin. So Ravana went to Rav Rukva to complain. He said, "What's going on over here? The woman has a legal document that was transferred. What did Rav Nachman? What does he have a right to tear up the document?" Ozel Chozi Mar Nachman Chaklo. He says here this. He says Rav Nachman's a Chaklo. He's like a farmer. He doesn't know the law. What was he tearing up the document? Hechem Ikari Shtori Dinchi. How does he just go tear up documents? It's a valid document that the daughter has. Omalei Emel Easy Uva the Gufa Hechi Havasi. So Marukva, who's the Dayan, who's the Abbezdin, says, "Tell me what happened. Tell me the story." Right? Emily Easy Gufa Duv the Hechi Hava. Tell me exactly all the details of what happened, of the event. Omalei Hochi Hochi. So he explained this is the reason. Why did she write it? She wanted to conceal the assets from. That's why she gave it to the daughter. Omalei. So Rav Marukvus, the Avben says, "Shtar mavrachas ka'amrit." Right? You mean you talk about the documents purely to remove the assets from the husband? Hochem Rachaniloi Baridi, Omar Shmuel. Rav Chaniloi Baridi said name Shmuel. Mora Roani. I am a posek. Im Ovo Yishtar Machrachs Liode Akreno. Who said in Shmuel, if such a dog, you tear it up. Meaning what Rav Nachman did, he did the right thing. He tore up the document. Okay? So here he calls him a farmer. What's going on? And he tells him, tell me the story. He tells him exactly what it was, that he's right. What he did was correct. Omali Rav the Rav Nachman Taimamai. How do you know? I mean, factually, the document indicates that it was a valid transfer. The answer is Taimamai. I mean, a person doesn't give away everything, leaves himself high and dry with nothing. So that you wrote over everything to the daughter is an indication that what? That definitely, she really doesn't mean. It's purely to conceal the assets from the husband. Otherwise, she wouldn't have written over everything. The Gemara says above Basra, if a man writes a document, normally you have to make a tenai. If you wanted something conditional. His wife, he didn't believe his wife was going to have a child. And he wrote over all his assets to a third party. It's a gift. He was dying. Then he realized his wife gave birth to a boy. So it says the gift's not a gift. It was never a gift. Of course, we could say with certainty, if he would have knew that he had an heir, he's not giving it away. To leave nothing for his own son. Here also, a woman, she's not giving away everything, then all her security, when she comes back, she has nothing. Therefore, the doc, although it seems face value, if you read it, she wrote everything over to the daughter. It was never intended to be the daughter's. It was purely a way to hide her assets. Hani mili, right? Lachrini. He says, that's when you write to a third party. So he says, no, maybe you can differentiate. Right? Rabbi says to Rav Nachman, time in mind, because of this, he says, but you can differentiate between a stranger. You don't write it to a stranger and leave yourself with that. But aval brato, yohivo. But maybe a woman would do it to her daughter. Give everything to her daughter and leave herself with nothing. Afilu hochi mokem brat nafshi adifalo. Even with a daughter, a person's own life takes precedence. So therefore, even though there was an indication in the shtar, there was the shtar mavrachas, But because she wrote over everything, that clearly tells you it was a document to conceal the assets from the husband. Okay? Meisvei, we learned the Brisa. That gives you a whole recipe here. If a woman wants to conceal her assets from her husband, Ketzad Hiosa, what does she do? She writes this fictitious document to a third party. Divrei Reb Shimon Gamliel. So right, so what's the shtar pasim? Shtar piyusim shemefaisoso l'kabel matonazu lafkiyas chuz balo. I mean, the person's involved in a little bit of a scheme over here, right? So it's called pasim. He has to convince the person to do it because she wants to use the other party to hide the assets. Kodem nisuin lo shiyiske makabel zebhem. So the husband shouldn't take over the assets. Ketzur Hiosa, because the one who receives the document afterwards, he can tell her, go take a hike. Right? He says, you know something, it's mine, goodbye. Unless she writes, it's yours from today if I'm in agreement, if I'm agreeable. Time it cost the leg, it's only because she wrote it. Hochi, holo cost hochi. But if she didn't insert that, the one who she wrote the document to, it's his. There's a difference. Here we're talking about she gave away everything, right? Give away everything even if you write nothing. We could say with Anan Sadish with certainty, there's no way that she's given it all away. But what about to give away partially? So if you're even partial, if you write this, then she's protected. Somebody has a question. Now we have a problem. If actually it was only to hide the assets, if the lokeach, the buyer, it was never transferred before the marriage to him, nigni bal, so rightfully it belongs to the husband. So how does she get it back? I mean, she should have to compensate the husband for all that he should have received, right? All the profits. Omar Abaye, what does Reb Shimon say? What assets does the husband have right to? That's only in the chosma how you do him. So we spoke about what I mean, whether karka, whether metaltlin. What about the chos b'dinas hayam? What about if she inherited assets on the other side of the world, the other side of the ocean, and nobody's aware of it? The husband doesn't have a right to those. So doing this fictitious sale, it's the same thing. The husband, if she's aware of it, then he has a claim. He's not aware of it, so if you hide your assets, that's a way to hide the assets. You have it, Norman. You have it on your thing. Getting close, okay? This expression in English, a miss is as good as a mile. You ever hear that one? Okay. Naflok Sofim. What about she inherits cash? Cash. Howard. Cash. It's not so serious. You have such a serious mindset. You think about George Washington's picture on the bill. Naflok Sofim. She inherits money. What does he do? Because you have to preserve the principal. Right, so how do you preserve the principal? If you buy food and he eats the food, there's nothing left. So he buys property, and he gets the profits off the property. What about when he marries, there's property and the harvest already was harvested. Right? The fruits were already detached from the property. Again, you take those fruits are cash. You buy property, right? And what? And then the property is hers, and the fruits, the produce are his. What about Persim Chubar and Kaka? Let's say when he marries her, the fruit's still growing, attached to the ground. Do you see that as is that his or is that hers? Amr Meir Shaman Oso Kami Yofe Beperis, Kami Yofe below Peris. Or Mosi Lokach Ben Karka. What do you do? Let's say the fruits grew a third of their growth. So you evaluate it. What's the value of the property with the fruits that grew a third? And it grew. You take the difference. That belongs to her. So from the produce, you'll take whatever that value is, invest it in property that's hers. Because he's married to her already. So anything grows beyond the third, that's his. Up to the third, that belongs to her. Again, but you have to preserve it. How do you preserve it? Buying property, okay? No. If he marries her, anything attached to the property, although it was attached from before, that's the profits. V'atlushim nekarka shelo, that's cash. V'lokach ben karka. Well, the pairs. Reb Shimon Omer. Reb Shimon says, Mokem shiofa kocho b'chnisoso hura kocha b'tziyosa. The Mishnah will explain this. Wherever he has the upper hand when he enters, he will have the lower hand when he leaves, when he divorces her. Okay? 1 second. Mokem shura kocho b'chnisoso, and where he has the lower hand when he enters, yofe kocha b'tziyosa. He has the upper hand when he leaves. What's the case? Ketzad. Persa b'chuborin, the karka, b'chnisoso shelo. Anything that's attached to the property when he marries her, that belongs to him. B'tziyosa. What about it's still attached? The harvest wasn't cut yet, wasn't done, but it's on the field. That's shelo. Hatlushin. But what happens if they harvested? Mina karka b'chnisoso. When she marries her, that's cash. So that's shelo. B'tziyosa, because since that already was his, that's shelo. That's his. Poshet. Okay, it's simple. Okay, simple understanding how things work. Okay, now the Gemara has a question like this. Let's say you have cash. Come brings cash. Now you want to preserve the cash. You have a question. Property or a building? What's a better investment in terms of preserving the cash? A building, it deteriorates. You have to maintain. There's maintenance. A field, you don't have to maintain. A field is a field. Pshita, he says something. Arka ara uboti. It's a question of putting the money into land or into houses. Ara. You buy land. Boti vidikli. Houses or date trees, palm trees. Boti, you buy houses. Why? Because the tree has a lifespan. It dries up after so many years. So where is it more secure to preserve principle? Putting into a house, into a building. Dikli v'ilni. What about a date tree and other types of trees? Dikli. Dilni. Dikli v'ilni. Right? V'ilni. Dikli. Ilni v'gufni. What about regular trees and vines? A vineyard, the vines have less of a lifespan. Ilni. Abo zardosa peridikavri. What about you have a forest? Want to buy a forest for timber? Or peridikavri. You have a what's his name? You have like a lake which has fish in it. So it's fish. Fish has you catch all the fish. It's over, right? Where do you put it? In the forest or in that omale perid? Amri lo peiro v'amdo karno. So the question is, do we look at the fish as the principal, or look at it as the profits? Is that like fruits that have been harvested, or that's like the fruits that are still growing? Klola de milsa. So he says, well, but what's the general principle? Gizo machliv peiro. If it's a perennial, let's say you have a tree, and it's going to actually, it will continuously produce. That's called peiro. That's not principle. Let's say you cut down a tree. You cut a tree that's not growing again. Cut for timber. Let's say you bring in a tree, and its value is its timber. So what is that? The husband has to actually sell the tree, cut down the tree, sell the lumber, buy property, right? Because otherwise, because there's nothing, it's over. Gizo machliv peiro. Ein gizo machliv karna. That's Karen. If it would not replenish itself.
So the forest that told me that is cutting down to prevent it, is that correct?
Yeah. How does he explain what is uzdarin? I don't know what exactly the fruit is. What did he say in the article? What's uzdarin? I think quinces are uzdarin. Lavi porin pirion choshuv. Meaning it's whatever it produces this kind of fruit, the wood has greater value than whatever fruit it's going to grow. Okay? Omer Reb Zera, Omer Reb Oshia, Omer Reb Yanai. Reb Zera said, name Reb Oshia, and name Reb Yanai. The others say, Omer Reb Abba, Omer Reb Oshia, Omer Reb Yanai. Hagonev, listen to the story. Hagonev Vlad Behemo Maluk. Hear this? A woman brings an animal into the marriage. So let the animal, cow. Cow has milk. A cow has whatever it is. Let's say the cow now gives birth. So what is the calf of the cow? It seems that's like the fruit, right? Vlad Behemo Maluk, and then it's stolen. Now you pay kafel to the owner. It says V'guna Beis Ish. Now who was victimized? Was the husband victimized? So if it's the equivalent of Keren, so it's the wife's. But if it's the equivalent of what? It's the husband's. said it's a question. Mishalim Tashlumi Kefa Liisha. So it says, they said, if you steal the vlad of the behemoth of the Malug, Kefa goes to the woman. Keman, Loker Abba Loker Chananya. It's not like we'll see them on the Tanya. Vlad behemoth Malug Labal. The calf of the behemoth of Malug belongs to the Baal. Okay? Vlad Shivchas Malug. The child of the maidservant she brought into the marriage, right? So the maidservant's work, let's say she works in the field, that belongs to the husband, right? But what about she gives birth, she has a child, right? Leisha. So according to the Tanakama, the calf belongs to the husband, the slave of the maidservant belongs to the wife. Chananya ben Achi Yoshia Omar, right? Hananya was the brother of Yoshio, because he said, Omar, also Vlad Shivcha Belug, Shivchas Belug Vlad Behemoth Belug. Just as the animal belongs to the husband, the calf, the child of the maidservant belongs to the husband. So we have a problem here. We're saying, over here, we're saying this is the calf of the animal. And it says, who does it belong to? It belongs to the wife, the kafil. Here we're saying now, even according to Tanakama, that's only the child of the slave. But the calf belongs to who? Belongs to the husband. So why should the kafil go to the wife? The kafil should belong to who? Should belong to the husband. Right? It's his animal that was stolen. Givaldik. So Mer says, Afil Tema Divriakol. It goes according to everyone. Everybody. Why? Peira Tekinu Rabbana, Peira the Peira lo Tekinu Rabbana. So Rashi says, Gufa Vlad, meaning the animal itself belongs to the husband. This is difficult already. The animal belongs to the husband. But the profits of the animal, I mean, does that make sense? I have a harvest, right? Fruits, I pick fruits, I sell them on the market. The cash that I get from those fruits, I can do whatever I want with that cash. So over here, the kafil, why shouldn't the kafil be the equivalent of what? It's my money. I do what I want with the money. Right? So how do we understand it? You had a difficulty. So Tosas himself addresses it. You have produce on the field. I take the produce, sell it, invest the money, now the profits. Who do those profits belong to? Belongs to the husband. So via the kafil, why is that indifferent than taking the fruits and investing, making a profit? So Tosas differentiates. Dafka b'midi de'osem alma go kafil vlad bemis mlug. See, whenever we talk about fruits, the fruit itself that emanates, I take the money, invest it. So where's the profit coming from? It's natural. You invest it, it makes a profit. Kafil is when something happened. The Torah penalizes the thief. There, Chazal said, it doesn't. We don't treat it as if that's like an added bonus. Here, Avo pshita de peri pera nami tkinule rabbanon kidnam ba kosef lolam hu oche peri peres achi yichtov lo v'ora kamar mishalim tashlumi kefel leisho hainu kefel lechudei Avo keren lebal temo the goni bemis mulug atzmo she shalisho. He's asking a good question. So if that's the case, what about if you steal the actual animal? Forget about the vlad of the animal. We're saying now because this bomi alma comes from outside, that's not part of the equation. So what about you steal the actual animal itself? Wait 1 second. And now there's kafil to be paid. Tema, gori bemis mulug atzmo she shalisho havya kafil lebal dolo havi peirid the peiro. That's not called peirid the peiro. Gemara says, what's his peiro? Peirid the peiro is not his. So over here, this is peiro, right? The animal belongs to the wife. So what is this? This is the produce of the animal. Okay? Do lo have peirid the peiro. V'goni vlad bemis mulug. Davi the bal havi akefo liisho. Pirush the coach game bemis mulug. Atzmo davi akefo liisho. He says no. Peirid the peiro is a chiddush. V'hochi pirush peiro kevin lo havi mi alma tkin rabbonon. V'adin peirid the peiro. A payra the payra the osimi alma lo takinula the kosh game payra the osimi alma. Okay, has to be explained a little bit better, but that's basically the principle. because still, what's producing the kefil? The kefil says, the Torah says, "V'gunav beis ish." It was stolen from the house of the owner. What was stolen? The calf. Who owns the calf? Who's the ish? The ish is the husband. What do I care if the kefil is mialma? But factually, whose calf was stolen? When the Torah says, when it's gunav beis ish, you pay kefil. To who do I pay kefil to? I pay kefil to whoever the owner is. So if the owner is the husband, what do it mean? Tikinu rabbanon peiru, but not peiru the peiru. Well, what does it mean? Because it's not directly an outgrowth of the animal. It's a side issue, side profit. Therefore, it doesn't belong to the husband. But it's his animal. You have the question, Avi? Seems to be difficult, no? Wasn't it difficult? No. If he wants to take the animal and slaughter the animal, eat the food, could he kill it? The Torah says, "Guna beis ish." What, you pay kefil to the ish. Whose animal was stolen? No. The vlad is his. The vlad is his. If he wants to slaughter the animal, he could eat the animal. That's not Keren. That's Peiru. He could eat that. Like he could eat the apple off the tree. He could eat the animal. He wants to have steak, prime roast, whatever he wants. He could eat that animal. But we're saying because the kefil is a side issue, it's not an outgrowth of the animal, that he can't take. Why not? Whose animal was stolen? It's his animal. So if his animal is stolen, the kefil should belong to him. So you have to say a chiddush over here. It's like a palgina dibura in the animal. It's yours for it, but anything which is not derivative from it, that's considered hers. That's what you have to say. Otherwise, how do you make this differentiation? If actually, lock, stock, and barrel, the animal is the calf is his calf. Whose calf was stolen? His. Torah says, whoever's calf is stolen, you got to pay kefil to the owner of that calf. Guna beis ish. What do I care if the calf was mialma, whoever it's from? It's irrelevant. If the calf is his calf, you should pay kefil. That would be like the produce on the field that we just discussed. That's a separate side. No, here we're talking about a calf that was born. The calf is 3 years old. It's Paris, good, no? I'm asking if he wants to eat the cow, could he eat the calf? Let's talk about something else. A guy has cash. She owns a building. She owns the building. He collects the rent. Can he take that rent and go on a vacation to Hawaii? Yeah. Okay. Good. So now, and if somebody now steals that from him, the money. We're saying the kefil doesn't go to him. It's his money. The payers are his money. So that's what I'm saying. You have to say. Yeah. That's what you have to say. This. So it's his money. No, wait a second. So if he uses the money and there's profit, natural profit, that's his. That's his. Let me ask you a question. If he'd be Mekadosh and Isha with the money, rent, Ishi Mekudeshes. But it's not. Wait a second. That it is his money, but not totally his money. It's not like I invite you to my house and say, you know something, you're welcome to eat as much as you want to eat. That's not that. Because there the food belongs to the host. If that would be the case, somebody comes to my house, I give him matzah. A woman's sitting next to him, meets the world, meet at Sinai, see at Sinai, see at the Seder. Okay? The guy picks up the matzah, $20, $25 a pound. Harei mukudeshesli with the matzah. Okay? Is she married? No, it's not his matzah. Right? So here, if we're saying the cash of rent, the rent that he collects, he has a right only to use the money. So how does he marry a woman with it? You tell me he can't be Mekadosh and Isha with that money? He could be Mekadosh and Isha with the money. Why? Why is that different than the calf? So that's what I'm saying. He has ownership. It's like a partnership. It's like a partnership here. For certain things you own it, for other things you don't own it. That's what I'm saying. So So as I'm saying, it's a limited ownership. So it's not just a right to use. It's not a right to use. You actually own it to use. But the takon is that you own it. You do own it. Yeah. Or what we natural profits you own. That's right. She'd be mukudeshes. She would be mukudeshes. Okay. The Gemara says, we're saying according to Hananya, we don't differentiate between the calf and the what and the slave, right? Just as the calf belongs to him, the slave belongs to him, right? As we're saying. Hananya Omer, Osu Vlad Shivchas Mlug, Kivlad, right. Tanya, Vlad Mlug Lebal. Okay. So what's the machal? Bishlom lechananyo hainu lo chayshin lemisa. Right? We don't. If you're concerned the animal's going to die, so that's like cash. You got to put it into property. So if you're not afraid he's going to die, so he has the right to the calf, right? El Rabbanon. So Rabbanon made a differentiation. Tanakama. We say if it's the Vlad behema, that belongs to the husband. But if it's the shivcha, that belongs to the wife. Manavshach. So Maris. Manavshach. El Rabbanon, ichashin lemisa afli vlad lemis mulugnami. Lo, it shouldn't belong to what? It shouldn't belong to the husband. V'lo chashin lemisa afli vlad shivchas mulugnami. It should belong to the husband. So why does it hers? Lo lam chashin lemisa. We're concerned. So we speak when it's kol yikarno, when we're afraid the principal is not going to be around. V'shani beima dika ora. Because even if it dies, you still have the hide. So there's going to be part of the principles be left. A person dies, it's over. You put him in the ground, it's over. So Tosei asks an interesting question. It's a question. Yeah. So Tzas Tema L'Rashba, the Choshev Ora Shir. That's called a Shir. Im Hoya Rotze L'Shochta Einu Yochol. Let's say he wants to slaughter the animal. He's not permitted to slaughter it. It's not his. He has no access to the hide. The Gemara is going to speak about a case now. Let's say she brings clothing into it. So we say he could use the clothing. As long as she's going to have, the rags are going to be left at the end, there's going to be some remnant of the clothing. Even though it's worthless compared to the writ, doesn't make. As long as there's a shiur, there's something left, it's good enough. You're not worried about that. We'll see. Omer Rabba, Omer Rav Nachman, Avagav Omer Shmuel, Halocha Kechananyo. We rule like Hananyo. Mo de Hananyo Shem Nizgarsho. No sen is domim v'not loson. Bibnei Shevach Beisovio. Yeah, this. Normally, she brought it in, so we say it belongs to him. Nevertheless, she could force the husband. She said, I'm willing to pay whatever its value is, give it back to me. Because there's an idea of identifying this represents her father's household. She brought this from the father. Omer Rav Nachman, right? She brought a goat in for milking. Rochel also, a sheep for shearings, for its fleece. Targolis lebeitzosov, dekel lepeirosov. Ochel v'holech hashtichla keren. You hear this? He said that what Rav Nachman said, that you can continue eating until there's no keren. Rav Nachman, Ayla le glimo peiro, because what's going to be, there'll be some wood left. The tree's not going to produce anymore, but you can have some what? You can have wood. Rav Nachman, Ayla le glimo, right? She brings in a coat, a garment. Peiro havi mirsi beg. So what's the peiro? Covering himself with the garment. Birsi beivozil ad dekalyo, until it's down to rags. He gives it back to rags. The rags will be left. Command ki aitan detanyo hamelach va'achol harezu peris. You know what this is? So Rashi says in the old, they would have like salt beds by the ocean. The ocean water come in, the water gets trapped, the sun beats down on it, and then afterwards you have salt, sea salt. She brings that into the marriage. He wants to use up all the salt. Is that called Paris or is that called Karen? So we say, you know something, even if he takes all the salt, the bed is still there. That means that's like the rags being left from the, what's his name? From the garment. Same thing. What about, you have a sand pit. Since the pit is left, which has value, the pit and the sand in the pit, that's one and the same thing. So even though he's going to use all the chol is Paris. Here? Hariza Peiris. Fir shel gofris. Machpori shel tzrif. You have a pit filled with sulfur pit. The husband could use all the sulfur. He could take the sulfur. Machpor shel tzrif, he calls alum. They used for dyeing clothing. Remero mekeren chamon peris. These two cases, where you're left only with the pit, is that called peris or is that called keren? Reb Shimon mokom shiofer. Reb Shimon hain tanakam omrov mchuborim b'shasitzi kamei. Okay. Nofla avodim shvochu zekenim. What about she brought in old slaves, old maidservants? So what's the life? They're going to die soon, right? They're not going to live too long. You sell them for whatever they're worth, and you buy property. Preserve the principle. Yeah, the husband. Well, Yimoch could be Bezdin. Bezdin sells it. Right? Whoever's going to sell it, it's in the husband's best interest to buy the best item that's going to produce the best income, right? Huachal Peiris, Reb Shimon Omer Lo Simkar. No, Nei Shei Shvach Shevach Beisavio. You know, there's something to identify with the. Once you sell it off, they're gone. This is like the family heirloom. Nofal Lo Zeisim Gefanim Zekenim. What about she inherits old olive trees, old vines. Look, Mikarka Vuelcha Peiris, Reb Yudomino Lo Simkor. Nei Shei Shevach Beisavio. Shouldn't sell it. Well, he says, but you realize, where am I going to end up? I'm going to end up with nothing. Too bad. The overriding factor is we still have to preserve her identity, and therefore you'll make a minimum profit. Doesn't make a difference. You don't sell the old trees, because that's her family heirloom. Doesn't make what? Heirloom. It's like there's a sentimental attachment to it. Omer Rav Kana, Omer Rav Machloke, Shenofelu Besode. Now, he said, let's say we're saying trees, right? Old olive trees, vines. Who owned the field? No, maybe somebody. What about if somebody else's field was my trees? Does it have that sentimental attachment or not? Or it has to be your field and your trees, right? What degree gives the person that attachment? So he says, Omer Rav Kana, Omer Rav, says Machlokes shenoflu besode shelo. We argue the argument, the Mishnah, meaning the vines and the what's his name were in her field. Av besode sheni shelo divrei akol timkor. Why? Mishum kal kanu. If it's a question kal yakarn, nothing's me left. Then you know something. Then there's no. At least here, if it's in the field will be left. It's vines in a field. Maskevlo Rav Yosef Avodim Ushvochos. Rav Yosef says, what about Avodim Ushvochos Zekenim? Old. The Chisod Shena Shalodami, right? What happens? They die. They're dead and buried. It's over. So that's like being in a field, which is not a field. Doesn't mean nothing left. Upligi, and yet it's a machlokas in the Mishnah whether you sell them off or not. Ella, so it's a retraction. We have to restate it. Eliyid Mahochi Yitmar. Omer Rav Kana Omer Rav Machlokas Besod Shena Shalom. Where do they argue if they're growing a field which is not hers? Why? A person makes capital improvements in his wife's field. Let's say he invested a tremendous amount and he got very little return on his capital investment. He invested a little bit, but he took out a tremendous amount. Masha, right? Masha hotzi, masha ochel. Meaning, when, let's say, he divorces her, field goes back with all capital improvements. He's not compensated, reimbursed for his capital improvements. Aval hotzi v'lo. What about he just finished all the capital improvements, and then there's a divorce, right? Yeah, yishova kama hotzi. He takes note of how much he actually invested. Vito he gets reimbursed because that the field actually was improved. Now the Gemara says the kama kiva. It says even if he ate a kima, regardless of his capital investment, it's over. He gets nothing. Kama kima amravasi afilu grogris achas. Yeah, this the equivalent of what? Of a grogris, a large fig. V'she ochle derech kavod. Rav Abba Omar Amri be Rava fil shigra de tamri.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. It's pressed dates. Af eluk mikri shigro. It's a tainim yachad. Press fix. Tomorrow di duchem yachad derch shedorsen tainim yachad lichros. Lichros af eluk kain mikri shigro. Vani shamati shigro truyos. Kimin eshkol tomorim. Kashli maya filu derevi grogris read me tomorim. I mean, he says even that seems to be. We say it's derech kovod. It has to be something which is like we speak of chatich rulis kabit. Something which you would serve, which is prestigious. It's something substantial. So you can't tell me this because what we said, a grogris is less than this. This is pressed multiples. Kedetnana oh gross shilim tomorim tovol of brocha. He says, if you go to you invert the order, Ravasi said, right? What Rababa said, Shigra de Tamri, and Ravasi says, Afilu Grogris. He said that order would be good. Stop here.